You look around and realize something most people never admit out loud. Your circle is small. While others seem surrounded by endless friends and constant messages, your world feels quieter. And sometimes you wonder, is this a social flaw or a rare psychological trait? You notice it in small moments. When someone asks, "Who are your closest friends?" you pause a little longer than most people, not because you have none, but because the list is short. In a world obsessed with popularity and constant connection, having only a few friends can feel like falling behind socially. The unspoken message is everywhere. If you were more likable, more outgoing, more socially skilled, your circle would be bigger. So a quiet doubt forms. Maybe something about you is wrong, but what if the opposite is true? What if having fewer friends isn't social failure, but a different way your mind is designed to connect? People with small social circles are often misunderstood. They're called distant, too private, too serious. But these labels miss something important. Some people simply value depth more than volume. They don't look for constant interaction. They look for meaningful connection. And because meaningful connection is rare, they become naturally selective about who they let into their lives. From the outside, this looks like isolation, but internally, it's actually a form of emotional filtration. Psychologists often talk about something called social energy calibration. Some brains process social environments more intensely than others. Instead of just hearing words, these minds absorb tone, emotion, body language, and subtle signals all at once. Their brain is analyzing the entire emotional atmosphere, and that deeper processing requires energy. Imagine two devices connected to the same network. One performs basic tasks. The other runs complex analysis in the background. People with smaller circles often fall into the second category, which means shallow interaction can feel surprisingly exhausting. Think of the mind like a building. Some people construct busy marketplaces where many people come and go, but other minds resemble quiet libraries. Every relationship placed there has meaning. Because space is limited, these individuals instinctively protect who enters their inner world. They don't collect connections, they curate them. So instead of dozens of casual relationships, they maintain a few deeply rooted ones. And those relationships often carry far more depth than larger networks ever could. For most of human history, survival depended on large social groups. The more people you were connected to, the safer you were. So societies began rewarding visible sociability. But the modern world has quietly shifted. Today, deep thinking, creativity, and emotional insight often matter more than social quantity. Many thinkers, creators, and innovators share a similar pattern. Small circles, protected mental energy. They invest less time maintaining endless connections and more time thinking, building, and creating. In today's world, depth is becoming more valuable than social noise. If this sounds familiar, there's a simple way to understand your social structure. Think of it as the selective circle model. The first layer is the anchor, one or two people who truly understand you. The second layer is the catalyst, people who challenge your ideas and push you to grow. The third layer is the orbit, acquaintances and everyday connections around you. Most people try to expand every layer equally. Selective minds focus mainly on the first two, and that focus creates deeper, more stable relationships. One man spent years believing he was socially behind. In college, everyone seemed surrounded by large friend groups and constant activity. Meanwhile, he had only two close friends. For a long time, he saw that as failure, until a mentor asked him one question: "Do those two friends understand you better than anyone else?" They did. Those friendships held deep conversations, trust, and honesty. And suddenly he realized something important. He wasn't socially lacking. He was socially precise. Having fewer friends often means you practice something rare: intentional connection. You don't build relationships out of convenience. You build them slowly and carefully, and that makes them stronger. Because when a relationship survives years of honesty and shared growth, it becomes something deeper than ordinary friendship. It becomes genuine understanding, and that kind of connection is incredibly rare. So if your circle is small, if you prefer meaningful conversations over crowded rooms, it may not mean you're socially lacking. It may mean your mind is wired for depth. You value meaning over popularity, understanding over attention, and in a world overflowing with shallow connection, that might be one of the rarest social traits of all. If this resonated with you, I want to ask you something. Where in the world are you watching this from? Drop your country in the comments below. And if you're someone who naturally keeps a small but meaningful circle, leave a emoji so others know they're not alone. And if you enjoy exploring deep psychology, human behavior, and rare mindset traits, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. Because sometimes the traits we thought were weaknesses are actually the rare qualities that define who we are.